Hello everyone, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Tonic Studios stamp platform, or the Tim Holtz Tonic Studios stamp platform. So maybe you're familiar with the Misty product, or there are a couple other stamp positioners. The idea is that you have the ability to see where your image is going to go exactly and also restamp it. So I think the thing that really interests me about these is the restamping in the same exact place, because that lets you do some different techniques with cutouts or with watercolors, or just make sure that your stamped image is very, very dark. Many moons ago, we had some different little contraptions that helped you see exactly where your stamped image was going to go. Maybe if you were trying to put, say, a cat sitting on a fence or flowers coming out of a pot, that kind of thing. But these devices are much different because they not only let you position it, but they let you restamp it. So in this video, I just wanted to introduce you to the product itself and show you a couple of easy examples, and then I'll do some other ones later probably. Okay, so it has the magnets in it. You need to keep the magnets separated, and you'll see that some people put washi tape around, or masking tape around their magnets, and leave off like a little flag so they can grab them and move them. This helps if they get stuck together. You want to keep your magnets apart. They will snap together and hurt you. I tried to make a video yesterday evening of this for you, and that video I threw out because I was having troubles with my camera. But while I was doing it, I was pulling off the magnets, and I was so busy checking out how great my stamped image turned out, I set them next to each other. They stuck together and shot into the garbage can. So there's a little bit of a safety issue. You want to pay attention to those magnets. The top is designed to lift straight up to come out, and then it says rubber on one side and clear on the other side, and that tells you which kind of stamp you're using. So whichever word you can read, right side up, not backwards, is what you're using. So I have very few rubber stamps that aren't mounted on blocks. I might get some of them out just to show you, but just a couple freebies. That's all I have from that. So I'm going to set mine to clear stamps. And the thing that I'm really interested in using this for is sometimes you have a clear stamp that is just too large, and you can't get a decent image out of it with one stamp. So let me show you an example, especially if you're not the absolute best. So these I got at Dollar Tree, and you might have seen them on a different video, but when I stamp these to color in, I use black ink. I get out flat paper. I clean up my desk surface. I check everything, and then I still have to restamp them a couple times and sometimes throw some away. So let's get the dog hair off first, because that's not a valid experiment. If you leave the dog hair in, that's going to change the texture. But so what happens, I mean, if you've been stamping for a while, what happens is you stamp and then you don't get a good image, so you throw that one away. So you'll see on some of my papers you might have seen in some of my papers and videos that I would have a sheet of stamped images of these, and some of them would have an X drawn through them, and that was to make sure that I didn't color one in that was a bad one. So all you do is you put your paper in here, and you could cut it down, but the idea is that you can use your card front. You could use a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. It comes with 2 magnets. You can purchase 4. I think if you're going to use really clingy stamps, you might want to get the additional ones. When I was experimenting last night with just 2, in a couple cases it lifted the paper. Okay, now I can do this either way. I can set it here, and then I can put this and it'll stick. The other thing I can do that I really like is on the lid on this side, there's a grid, so you can tell if you're getting it straight. When you have a stamp like this that has a very square image, it's nice to have that grid. So now I know that it's square on my paper because it's square on the lid. And then I'm just pushing it down to get a nice firm fit. But see, when I put it on the paper, it's lifting it up because it's such a large sticky stamp. So I think this is a good stamp for giving you an example of why you might actually need more magnets. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Distress Oxide. So all the times that I have stamped these images, I've used basic black because I'm going to put a piece of paper over here so we don't have so much glare. I've used basic black because these stamps are a little bit hard to work with. Very inexpensive. Oh, sorry, it's because of the lid. You're just going to get a lot of glare. But with the positioner, it opens up the inks that I think I could be successful with on such a large stamp. Like if you have some of these, this is pretty old, but I'm guessing something like this is still around. A thick metallic ink. You know, sometimes you're not going to get a perfect image the first time on a really detailed stamp with something like that. So you can try it. So I'm just going to take my ink pad. It's going to bounce you around a little, sorry. And ink this stamp up. And then, oops, I can already see I missed a little bit of the house. Let's go back in and try and fill that in. And like I said, these stamps are very, very detailed. And then I got one of my magnets a little close, and then you just shut it. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? And you can still, if you're a traditional stamper, you know, and you're worried about a lot of pressure, you can still apply a lot of pressure. Tim has videos where he uses this thing, and he's showing that it's a sturdy device. Okay, so let's take out the dog hair, cat hair maybe. So look at this image. I'll lift it up for you so you can see it, but I can't move it around because we need everything to stay lined up. So you can see on the roof of the house how I didn't get it fully inked, okay? And it's an okay image, but not maybe fabulous. All right, so now let's take it, and all you do is just re-ink it. Don't move anything. Just take your ink pad, ink it back up. And I know that I missed the roof of the house, so I'll try and get that really well. You know, there's a little bit of curve in the top of an ink pad. Plus, you might be talking to your friends while you're doing this. You never know. Okay, and then just close it down. And there you go. So you can see how much darker it got and how I'm going to actually take it out and lift it up so you can see it. Once we take it out, I don't think there's going back. Maybe there is. So you can see how much darker it got and also how I picked up the roof line better. Now, down in here, it is just beautiful, and I think I'm going to put it back in there even though we took it out because it should line up exactly the same. Oops. See what I did with those magnets? Don't do that. Keep them separate. I'm going to put it back in there, and I'm going to hit it again because, like I said, these stamps are really hard to work with, and I have kind of avoided using them because of this, because I didn't think I could get a decent image in color, and I get tired of coloring them in. But if I could do like a tone-on-tone card with them, where I just stamp it in a cute teal and then maybe put it with some patterned paper or something. And this is, in case you were wondering, peacock feathers. I like it. Now see, I'm not getting... And because these stamps are not very expensive and not very well broken in, I haven't used them a lot, that sometimes makes it hard for them to take the ink. Okay, there we go. So you can see that time a complete, see, watch out for your magnets. Maybe I'm not qualified to have 4. That's why I leave this in my videos, so you can see the real truth. Okay, so see how beautiful that came out? So I'll definitely use that for a card front. It's crisp, it's nice. Everything about it turned out really nice lines. There's no way I would get that kind of image without a stamp positioner. So that's something to keep in mind. about one of the advantages. Now, on the other hand, if you just buy nice stamps and you don't buy them just any old brand that you see, or you throw out stamps that don't give you a good image and you don't like, then you don't need a positioner. I'll show you some other techniques in other videos. The other thing too is there's a large one and a small one. So this one right now is on loan from a friend, and I don't know if I would purchase the large one or the small one. I might rather have the small one. This one weighs a couple pounds. I think they said 2 pounds, and it's a bit large. And because I don't typically stamp on my scrapbook pages, I don't know that I'd be that concerned with having 12 by 12 access. One thing that might be nice is art journal pages, maybe something large scale. But I am curious about the smaller one, because there's a travel, I think it's called the travel size one now. So I would look at that too. One thing I wanted to tell you is in the last video when I was showing you pens, I showed you the, let me grab it, the Flair pen. Okay, I will tell you this pen has not been fabulous for me. I was doing some work at home and using this to proof a report, and the report was 12 pages, and it was pretty good work. I didn't have that many edits, and this thing kind of kept drying up on me. So I don't know, maybe I got a bad one, maybe they just don't make them like they used to, but I just wanted you to know that I said they last forever, and I'm not sure they do now. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the other pens in the video. They were $5 or $6. So when you see brush pens, they're always more expensive than regular pens, and I realized I didn't point that out for you. I just meant that for a basic, kind of felt tip pen, this one was kind of expensive. The brush tip pens, you can get the Tombos, I think, for about $3, and I might pick one of those up because people have been saying how great they are, and I'm curious about them. But like I mentioned, the tip length on a brush is longer, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that. So that's just some random hand lettering information, and I'll be back with more on the stamp positioner later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.